Are you thinking about long-term cryptocurrency investment, or are you just thinking about short-term and what's happening right now in the next month or 2 or 3 for this potential bull run? If you've watched my channel before, you'll know I've got videos on various cryptocurrencies, but I focus on utility. I've got videos on how to use things like exchanges and wallets, and I also talk about strategy, and that's what I want to talk about today. In my opinion, through my experiences, we are at the infancy of cryptocurrency, and I'm comparing it to the dot-com bubble. I've mentioned this before, and I should say welcome if you're new here. My disclaimer, big dumb animal, don't do what I do, informational purposes only. I've got a couple links here. If you're interested, they're also down below. These are affiliate links. I use BitUnix, I use MEXC for leverage trading, also some spot buying when I can't find them on other exchanges. Links down below, you'll get some bonuses. I'm going to talk about iTrust Capital briefly at the end. You can put crypto in an IRA, and most importantly, I've got a school community where I teach and have courses on all things crypto. Okay, what I want to talk about today is long term. In my opinion, there's short term, intermediate, and long term. Short term, I do that on a daily basis. That's just trading and scalping cryptos using some leverage and some futures to make a little money every day. Intermediate term, I've been buying for the last 2 years for this hopefully bull run. If global M2 money supply lines up, if the business cycles line up, just like Raoul Pal and others have pointed out and are pointing towards, we believe that will happen, and a lot of these cryptos may really take off. But what about long term? Are you thinking about that? It's important. I'm in my 50s and I'm still thinking long term, meaning you can have two things be true at the same time. I can be investing for the short-term bull run and be investing for my long-term future, or just to have those assets passed down to my children. Because like the dot-com boom, I had an internet company. I raised money for it. We went through the dot-com area. I saw a million different technologies. I had an advertising company. So I worked with many of these companies. And I saw a lot of great technologies. Then, of course, when the market melted down, only a couple survived. But those couple that survived, we all know who they are today. They are enormous. Long-term holders are rewarded greatly. You've heard of the people holding on to their eBay stock, or their Amazon stock, or their Google stock, or their Microsoft stock, or whatever it may be. You want to be one of those people in crypto. That doesn't mean you buy crypto right now and you do nothing but hold it while watching the market skyrocket up and come down. No, I intend to take profits where profits should be taken. But then when the market corrects, I've either held back some of my crypto, or depending how well the market takes off, I may have sold some, but bought some back for the longer term. Now, which ones would I buy back for the longer term? That's a longer discussion. I'm actually going to have a sample portfolio of what I'm going to suggest in my school community. Learn about it at the end. I've got a link. But I wanted to talk today about why. Because some of you, if you're younger and you don't have, let's just call age wisdom, that's not the case, but let's just assume it is, then I've got something to impart. Let me show you something. And this is what I was thinking about the other day. There's a stock called AMD. You're probably all very familiar with it. Check out this chart here. I've traded stocks my entire life. Back here, there was a time when AMD was $2, $3, and $4, and $5, $6, $7. You can see it down here. What's this? 2013, 2012, 2011, 2015. It went on for years. And it had a lot of ups and downs like any other market. And I would buy and sell it and buy it, sell it. And eventually, it no longer was interesting to me and I moved on to other things. It was around the $5 range. It's currently at $160. And it peaked at 200. So 5 to 200 is a 40x. That's insane. Had I held it, but I didn't because I wasn't thinking long term at all. Now, if you just zoom in on, say, a 10-year, look how it shot up. This is not unlike crypto. Shot up to 160, then down to 60. Shot up to 140, 130, down to 90, up to 200, down to 80, back to 180, sitting at 160. Does this not look like a Bitcoin or other chart? You know, back here around 2017, the way it skyrocketed. So oftentimes I think And I just want you to take a step back and say, look at the forest, not just the trees. We're dealing with the trees. We want to make some quick money. We also want to invest for the future because many have said that this total market of crypto, and here's the total market represented by months. Back in 2017, we're down around, 20 billion. That was not that long ago. That was 8 years ago. And now we're at 4 trillion. Look how this thing flattens out. We are nowhere near 200 on the chart yet. I'm sorry, 100 trillion. People have said they think it'll go to 100 trillion. This arrow represents 100 trillion. And I've heard 100 trillion by 2030. A lot of it because of TVL due to RWA and things like stocks and other things being tokenized. But that's fine. There's all sorts of various technologies. The other thing I want to point out. So this just says, look, I think we're incredibly early. And you've probably seen the stats that crypto has been adopted much faster than even the internet was adopted or other past technologies. Another thing, we talked about AMD just briefly. AMD's total market cap is 260 billion. That's one stock. That's one stock. Now, if we look at crypto, let's come down here and say, what's Solana? That's 142 billion. It's been around for a while, but let's just cruise down here to say Chainlink. We know how important Chainlink is, 23 billion. It's 1/10 of AMD. Let's buy all of Chainlink. These are fully diluted values, by the way. All of SUI, we're only at 60 billion. Let's buy all of Avalanche. That's 80 billion. All of Stellar, there's another 20. That's 100 billion. Throw Hedera in there. That's 140 billion. We're at 140 billion. We just bought all of these things, and we're not even close to AMD's current market cap. I'm trying to point out that we're incredibly early. Okay, great. Big deal. So what do we do with that information? In my opinion, we look at all of the industries. The same way I buy for the short term, I'm somewhat buying for the long term, but I'm taking the cream of the crop. DeFi, DePIN, AI, whatever it is, all those different industries and buckets. Who's the 800-pound gorilla in each of them currently? At the very least, those would be the ones to hold for a longer period of time. I personally want to get them and do. I mentioned I Trust Capital. There's a couple companies that offer the ability for you to buy individual crypto in an IRA. These aren't ETFs. For example, you're literally buying Bitcoin or Ethereum. You can see here they've got XRP, Solana, Cardano, Chainlink, SUI, Avalanche, Stellar, Hedera, Litecoin. It goes on and on. It's got Uniswap. Did I say it's got Aave? It's got Aave, BitTensor, Near Protocol, many of the ones we talk about, ICP. The list goes on and on. Now, because it's an IRA, you can't hold these in an individual wallet. So they're holding them on your behalf. But I've got videos on how it works so you can see how they do that and all of the safeguards and whatnot. Just search, subscribe to my channel, check out my videos. I've got one where I just talk about iTrust Capital and how to use it. But these aren't ETFs. You're buying these individual cryptos and you can hold them in there. And if they're in the US and you use this sort of thing, it has many tax advantages. But regardless, think now, because it's possible that with certain things, like maybe Hedera, I may sell 50, 60, 80%, and I might hold on to 10 or 20. Now, I believe as markets go into cycles, it may come down and have better opportunities to get back in later, but I do have my list of things like an Ondo and others that are at the forefront or like a render in their particular industries, and holding them long term. Again, if we look at AMD and other things, there are so many stocks that have just gone ballistic. We're nowhere near. If this market by 2030 is really going to $100 trillion, we have yet to even start. So when you're looking at your day-to-day charts and you're flipping out because something went from 25 cents down to 22 cents, or went from $1.18 down to 99 cents, and you're losing your mind, well, there will come a time when you're going to say, like I did with AMD, I can't believe I had AMD when it was $5 and I had gotten rid of it. That was it for today. Hope that's helpful. Please do listen about my crypto community, because in there, I'm about strategy, long-term investing, learning how to use all the technologies, creating generational wealth for you and your family. Have a great day. Please take a listen. Thanks for watching. Love how I break things down? Then hop into my crypto school. You'll get step-by-step courses on everything: buying, selling, staking for yield, borrowing, lending, even going fully debanked. Plus, join lively crypto chats and catch my daily market updates. And lastly, if you just want to help support the channel, there's a join button just below this video.